Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Brendan Plays. This is Total Extreme Wrestling for our All Elite Wrestling save. We are currently a couple of weeks away from our All Out pay-per-view week 3 here in August, and some things have been going down over the last few weeks, of course, including the big signing, CM Punk joining our roster. Is this the week we're going to debut him? I'm going to say probably no. I mean, unless we do it on Rampage, at this stage, the plan is not to have him appear on Dynamite, even though we're in the Great Lakes region, which of course is his best area. We're not going to pull the trigger just yet. Another couple of weeks of build, maybe, at least another maybe show or two before we go ahead and go and do that. But, a couple of things before we get into our Dynamite episode today. Speaking of signing news, we are looking to make a couple of new signings, so we will get back to that soon, but we are looking to maybe bring in the Iconics into our women's division. So Billie Kay, Peyton Royce. We've been talking about the last, few episodes about potentially expanding our women's tag team division and trying to have, 4 or 5 teams in there and kind of making it a little bit of a thing. Obviously, they're probably the best option right now. That's a free agent with a bit of name value. They have 38 popularity, so we'll come back to them later, but I think it's a good addition potentially to help, try and elevate the Red Velvet and Brandy Rhodes tag team. Of course, we've got Mel and the Bunny, they're okay, Anna Jay, as well as Tay Conti, so they're doing pretty well. If we add another team to the mix, we might have a bit more competition, and also we can always use them in a singles capacity as well. So, I'm not a big fan of signing people that haven't joined AEW already in real life, but, there's a chance they will. But I just think it'd be a good addition to our women's roster, which is always, needing a little bit of support and help. So whatever we can get, I think is for the best. All right, so speaking of Dynamite, we have it booked and ready to go, so we may as well jump straight into it. And let's see the pre-show. So on the pre-show, we got 2.0 introducing Denny Garcia to their group. Denny Garcia got the Ice Cold gimmick, apparently. That's his default gimmick, and it's rated as very good. So good start for him. 33 rated there. So expanding this 2.0 group, obviously matching to what they're doing in real life. I don't mind the group so far. They've done pretty well, for where they're at with their popularity. Their matches are pretty decent. Denny Garcia will struggle a little bit for a while, but I think he'll catch up eventually. I think they're going to be a decent lower heel group for us. Speaking of lower heel group, the Factory, Solo, Comoroto, and QT Marshall took on the Nightmare Families, the Gun Club, and Dustin Rhodes. 38 rated match in this one. Dustin carrying it with 50. QT was the best on his team with 35. And Billy Gunn is now managing the Gun Club rather than being an in-ring performer. So he's going to be supporting them rather than getting into the ring. 6-man tag match, and we had the Nightmare Family pick up the win. So Anthony Ogogo not involved in this one, so he doesn't take a loss. Give the Nightmare Family, they get a win to try and get a bit of momentum building for them. And eventually we're leading to the Dustin Rhodes versus Ogogo match. Probably, it might make the pay-per-view as well, and we'll probably put over Ogogo big with a win there. 38 for that one. The Varsity Blondes had a promo for 32 as well, just hyping them up. We open up the main show with the Super Elite bragging about how great they are. Sting, the GM, I suppose you could say, came out to the ring and he booked the Young Bucks versus the Wild Things, and they got a bit of a shock, a bit of a fright, and they thought that they had already finished dealing with them. They thought they didn't have to worry about them anymore. Well, they thought wrong, and obviously Kenny Omega was bragging about how he's the best in the world, blah blah blah, as well, to continue that tease in that storyline. So 86 for that segment, pretty good. Rey Fenix had a casino ladder match qualifier with Kip Sabian, 64 rated. Rey Fenix 67, Kip Sabian 44. Nice match here. Obviously Rey Fenix, adds a bit of a high-flying element to that ladder match, which we were lacking. And we've always, whenever there's a match when we need someone who's going to perform really well, Rey Fenix is the guy we always turn to, because he's always going to have a good match no matter what. So good result there, 64. Cody Rhodes had a sit-down interview with Jim Ross about his title match with MJF, and obviously talking about how much it means to him 84 rated for this one. Pretty good stuff there, continuing the MJF and Cody storyline. Much more to come with that one later on though. Ethan Page had a match against Frankie Kazarian for 50, so Scorpio Sky beat Daniels recently. Now it's Ethan Page cheating his way to a victory over Kazarian thanks to Scorpio Sky getting himself involved and screwing over Kazarian. So Ethan Page 48, Kazarian 43. Yeah, so the Men of the Year kind of get the double win here. Well, 3 wins, I suppose, over the former SCU. Daniels has officially retired, so he's done. So Kazarian is now going on his own as a singles. So I felt as though, we'll put over Ethan Page here. What will we do with Kazarian? I don't know. He's still performing pretty well, so there's a little bit to offer there, but I don't think he's going to have a major impact or a major role going forward. Might be similar to Colt Cabana, who, Kazarian will just be in matches against a top wrestler pretty much to lose. He'll have a good match with someone, or he might put over the next guy coming through, but probably won't get the push himself. 50 rated for this one though. Brandy Rhodes and Red Velvet took on Britt Baker and Layla Hirsch for a 42 rated match. Brandy 45, Red Velvet 24, Layla 31, Britt 39. In the end, it was Brandy pinning Layla Hirsch to pick up the win. Miscommunication between Britt and Hirsch, so that allowed Brandy and Red Velvet to capitalize. Britt and Layla don't work well as a team. Well, that's, plays into the storyline that they miscommunicated because they have actually no chemistry as a team as it stands. I wanted Rebel to compete here, but her contract does not allow her to wrestle, so she's finished as a wrestler, so we can't do it. But nonetheless, so 42 for the match. Brandy gets a win, I guess, over Britt Baker in a way. We had various wrestlers of the women's division. They all argued over the Casino Battle Royal and who's going to win that. So a chance to get, more women established into this storyline, into this match. All these women are going to be involved. They're all arguing, they're all fighting over who is going to win it. 40 rated for it. Ricky Starks had a Casino ladder match qualifier against Stu Grayson. He picked up the win, 51 for it. So Ricky Starks 50, Stu Grayson 38. Pretty good match, 51 for that one, and that's pretty good. One of the troubles that we had is finding appropriate opponents for these lower card wrestlers to beat. So Stu Grayson, Kip Sabian we've had to use. We've had to kind of scratch the bottom of the barrel a little bit to have these qualified matches. But, in a sense, it does help elevate these lower guys as well. 51, that's a good match. Jungle Boy says he's not intimidated by Park and he's ready to fight him. So he's looking for a bit of revenge because Park decided to beat down Marco Stunt and he's going to fight no matter what. 53 for this one from Jungle Boy. Obviously, promos aren't his strength, but the only way he's going to get better is if we put him in that situation to actually, do it and try and improve him. Christian Cage trash talks Adam Page for 79. Really good promo here by Christian, and he's doing really well. He's obviously got the new catchphrase. He's having really good matches, so he's actually performing really, really well for us here in AEW. 79 for this one. We had the Inner Circle here with Sammy Guevara telling the Inner Circle that he's going to focus on the Casino ladder match, not on Malachi Black. So instead of putting, all his focus and energy on trying to, stop Malachi Black from, beating the crap out of them and getting revenge for Santana and Ortiz, Sammy Guevara kind of goes out on his own and says, look, you know what, guys? I need to focus on myself. I need to focus on my own career. I need to win the Casino ladder match. That's what I'm going to be trying to do. And it's going to start tonight. So, bit of a controversial thing here with Sammy. And it could be the beginning of the end of the Inner Circle a little bit. A bit of dissension nonetheless. MJF puts away Lee Johnson very quickly in about a 4 or 5 minute match. 55 rated. Yeah, I thought we'd get a little bit more out of this. Obviously, MJF performed at 85. Lee Johnson 20. Lee Johnson obviously a part of the Nightmare family, so there is that connection there, and that's where we follow it up with the Pinnacle attempting a beatdown on the members of the Nightmare family, but they fail thanks to Cody Rhodes getting involved and saving the day. So Brock Anderson, Dustin Rhodes, they try to help Lee Johnson. They all couldn't, withstand the Pinnacle. It wasn't until Cody Rhodes came in and helped out. So yeah, not a great segment, I suppose. Not a lot of top talent involved. But, I'm willing to take one or two bad ones to try and elevate some other guys around him. Like Lee Johnson might get a bit of a bump, Brock Anderson, Dustin Rhodes maybe. So I don't mind that. We'll take that loss, and I know we're going to make up for it anyways with more segments like this. Cody Rhodes got on the mic. He told MJF to leave everyone else out of this. Leave the Pinnacle out, leave the Nightmare Family out, let it just be about me and you one-on-one. 84. So the question will be, will it be just Cody and MJF, or will the outside groups have to get involved as well? In our main event, we had Sammy Guevara versus Miro one-on-one. So, of course, Miro part of the ladder match. Sammy Guevara, he's qualified for it. So, two men who already have qualified, fighting it out one-on-one to try and gain the upper hand, heading into the ladder match. In the end, Miro got the win over Sammy Guevara because you know who? Malachi Black got himself involved and screwed over Sammy Guevara. So while Sammy has no interest in fighting Malachi Black is not going to let that slide. He gets himself involved, and he cost Sammy Guevara the match. So, you know, the wheels are starting to turn for Sammy Guevara. You know, he's starting to try and, you know, make it out on his own, and he's starting to realize how difficult it is to be out on his own. 75 for the match. Post-match, we'll continue on. The Inner Circle attempted to help Sammy. They all came out to the ring, and before they got in the ring, you know, they decided, you know what? Let's leave him to be beaten down by not only Malachi Black, but Miro got himself involved because, you know, Sammy Guevara is trying to cheat his way to a victory, trying to screw over Miro. Well, you know, why not let Malachi and get your own couple of shots in as well on Sammy Guevara. So Sammy Guevara learning a harsh lesson here by the Inner Circle. You know, you're not going to be willing to fight Malachi Black with us. Well, we're not going to be willing to help you defend yourself against Malachi. So Sammy Guevara being left out to dry here by the Inner Circle a little bit. So 77 for that one, advancing not only in the ladder match, but obviously Malachi Inner Circle, that storyline. In the end, a 72 rated edition of Dynamite. We didn't have any great matches apart from the main event, so I knew this wasn't going to be a strong show, but luckily we did advance a lot of our storylines. In fact, this is a real mid-card heavy show, actually. I think we really got a lot of our lower cards on this one and tried to really develop them a little bit here, which is what we need to try and do more often, I suppose. Moving ahead into the ratings, NXT 73 rated. They had 607,000 viewers. Of course, we had 72 rated, 6,500 attendance, a sellout show. We had around 900,000 viewers on TNT. 805,000 viewers on TNT with a 909,000 viewers in total. Not bad, not too bad. Obviously, Rampage is, you know, quite often doing better, but not our strongest show, of course. But as I said, we did develop a lot of our mid-card talent, which I'm pretty pleased about. Kimberly, she's going to join the WWE. Some other things happening around, you know, Chelsea Green, the former Ruby Riott, getting some deals to work some different promotions. You know, as we talked about, Braun Strowman, he's going to be working in that New Japan American promotion. I forgot that we hadn't had Daniel Bryan leave the WWE yet, so he's officially left the WWE after, of course, they had SummerSlam. His last match in WWE, what a match this would have been. Cena, Styles, and Lesnar in a fatal four-way, 85 rated. Daniel Bryan performed at 86. So, heavy rumors that he's going to be joining AEW very, very soon, which obviously would be great for us. You know, another strong addition. Christopher Daniels, he's officially done, so we no longer have him available to wrestle, which is a shame. But, you know, it is what it is. We've been preparing for him to retire for a while now and allow some of the other younger guys to kind of get the spotlight rather than Daniels, I suppose. All right, AEW Dark, let's jump straight into it. On the pre-show, Brandon Cutler took on JD Drake, and we had JD Drake winning thanks to Peter Avalon, of course, screwing over Cutler again. 38 rated match, not too bad actually, between these two. JD Drake has a bit of popularity actually, and we are having it in the Southeast, so you know it's one area that he does do fairly well in. Let's keep advancing. 2.0 and Danny Garcia took on the Dark Order for a 36 rated match. Jeff Parker the best in the match with 40. Alan Angels was the best on the Dark Order with 32. Now I can actually see this being a decent little feud, you know, 2.0 kind of mocking Dark Order for how ridiculous they are, and you know they're a cult and they're, you know, just, you know, crazy. So I can see that kind of morphing into a feud if we wanted to, you know, 2.0 versus the Dark Order.
Obviously, the Dark Order's best team of Uno and Grayson have a bit too much popularity for 2.0 to beat them, but it might not be a bad little idea down the line anyways. Alright, next up we had on our opening segment, the Men of the Year glowed about ending SCU and kind of retiring them. Private Party took exception and they challenged them. So obviously Private Party, they have some mutual respect for Daniels and Kazarian. They don't like how the Men of the Year are gloating and bragging about finishing them off. So they take exception here and will set up for a tag match later on in the night. 49 rated. Diamante and Nyla Rose with a 46 rated match. Okay, that's pretty good. Nyla Rose 47, Diamante 37. So Nyla Rose, her performances are really pretty good. I mean, honestly, the only probably issue with her is her age. She's late 30s, 38, so there is that risk of maybe injury or potentially declining soon. But so far, her performances have been really good as of late, so definitely could see her maybe going pretty far in this battle royal. I don't know about winning it, but very close anyways. Miro says he should be the favorite to win the ladder match and nobody can stop him. So he's talking trash about everybody in the ladder match here. 72 for this promo. We had Death Triangle cutting a promo here on everybody in the ladder match and Jungle Boy as well. 69 rated for this one. So advancing both Park and Jungle Boy and of course the Casino ladder match. Then we had a tag match here. Dustin Rhodes and Brock Anderson defeated The Factory in a 38 rated match. Look, I wanted Brock Anderson to kind of team up with Dustin and gain a bit of a benefit from obviously winning here with that. And, at least give Brock a win, some sort of way to put him over a little bit and make him not seem like such a joke, I suppose. The Factory, they've been taking a lot of L's, but, it is what it is. So Dustin Rhodes obviously carrying the match, 48 from him. And Dustin Rhodes is actually gaining popularity as of late. He's getting close to 50 popularity, which is quite incredible. So having him probably lose to Anthony Ogogo won't be great for him, but pretty good for Anthony. Alright, we had Don Callis and Kenny Omega out here. Just reminding the fans about how lucky they are to have Kenny Omega wrestling in their lifetime. So talking about how great Kenny Omega is. So we use this as a spot to, of course, advance this Best in the World storyline because we are pretty much ready to have CM Punk appear and confront Kenny. So we wanted to just try and advance it as much as we possibly can before we go ahead and make it happen. Brandy Rhodes talks about how much winning the Women's Championship would mean to her, 54, of course, her tag partner Red Velvet there with her. Good promo, gaining storyline heat as well. So that's probably one of the key things about Brandy and why we put her in this spot is obviously her promo game is pretty good. She's going to get a good storyline heat for this feud in the ring. Probably won't go down very well, but she's got a lot of popularity to give and it would be a good win for Britt Baker, a big win for her to really put her over by beating Brandy here. Our main event was the Private Party versus the Men of the Year. Very nice match, 57 rated in the end. Mark Quinn 52, Isaiah Cassidy 60, wow. Ethan Page 47, Scorpio Sky 49. Men of the Year picked up the win here after, I did put it down that Ethan Page was meant to cheat or, it was meant to be a bit of a tainted victory. I'm not sure what really went down there, but in the end, 57 rated match. We are looking to really push Men of the Year. I like the tag team. I don't like them in a high-profile spot, but here on my game, here in TW, this is certainly a tag team that could really, have a nice little spot, pretty much beating most of the lower-end tag teams and kind of putting them over in that way, and then slowly, we'll move them up the card, and they'll probably get a bit of a reality check, and they won't beat a lot of the top teams, but they can run through a lot of these lower card teams. And, it should elevate everybody around them. So, I don't mind them doing that. And I don't think it's a step down for them either. Taking on the Dark Orders, the Private Parties, those sort of tag teams that have got 30 to 40 pop. It's not a step down for them at all. So, whereas, if we had, for example, dragged FTR into that same position, we're kind of really putting down FTR a little bit to try to elevate some of the other tag teams. But in the end, 57 rated for this edition of Dark.
Alright, we're all set for this week's Rampage. Let's jump into it. On the pre-show, Leva Bates was defeated by Abaddon in a 32 rated match. Abaddon was the best in the match with 32, Leva Bates 27. We had a segment here with Dustin Rhodes saying that he's ready to fight for his family and take down Anthony Ogogo. 56 rated, so this was on the pre-show as well. But a nice promo here from Dustin Rhodes, and of course featuring some of the other guys in the Nightmare family as well, right by his side. Serena Deeb says that she demands respect from AEW and says that she should be the top-ranked woman to win the Battle Royal. So, she's not really happy that a lot of people aren't really thrilled that, aren't really saying that she's going to be one of the favorites to win. That, a lot of people aren't really talking about her potentially being as the winner. So we might just go ahead and turn her heel now. I don't think we're going to do a big heel turn, like a big moment, I suppose. We've just been building to it for quite some time now, and I kind of forgot about her a little bit. So I think if we just turn a heel, that will kind of give me more reasons to use her, because we've got so many baby faces, we need a few more heels. So if we added her as a heel in the roster, that will certainly give her more opportunity to start feuding with some of the baby faces. So we'll go ahead and turn her heel, change her gimmick. So her new gimmick was rated as adequate. That's okay. So it's about a bit of veteran gimmick. So hopefully that will continue to improve. The turn itself didn't go down well. Now, obviously, it wasn't that long ago that she turned babyface or made her debut, I suppose. So that's where we're kind of going wrong with her a little bit. But nonetheless, we've turned a heel. Hopefully we can get her in the right direction going forward. Okay, on the main show of Rampage, Adam Page, Christian Cage met in the middle of the ring to promo about their upcoming match. Basically these two guys talking about how desperate they want to win. Whoever wins this match should be next in line for the championship. Christian kind of talking about that, he's been robbed of all his opportunities. He's tired of people trying to overstep him like Adam Page. He's going to try and take him down and prove that he's still better than anybody in any generation. That sort of direction. 88 rated for the promo between these two. As I've said, Christian Cage is really starting to hit his straps. He's really doing well. Adam Page obviously has been doing really well for a long time now. So this should be a good matchup. And the promos here and the storyline heat is really good. So I've got some big hopes for this one. The Young Bucks defended their tag team championships against the Dark Order in a 65 rated match. I thought this would be a little bit stronger, but nonetheless. Nick Jackson 86, Matt 87, Uno 48, Grayson 44. So I suppose it kind of met in the middle, didn't it? The middle ground for those performances. Pretty good though in the end, 65. Don't mind that. Obviously, we gave the Young Bucks a win just to kind of give them a bit of momentum, another title defense, and also to set up for the next segment. The Super Elite say that they will fight anyone. And John Moxley and Eddie Kingston run into the ring, and the Young Bucks run away. So they've got no interest in fighting them. Carl Anderson's still dealing with an injury, so he's not there. Luke Gallows was there to try and help defend them, but the Elite were not interested in fighting tonight. So setting up for that Young Bucks and Wild Things tag team match coming up at the pay-per-view. Orange Cassidy was defeated by Lance Archer. Good match here though, 68 rated. That's really high. Cassidy 57, Archer 64. So from those performances to get a 68 is terrific. I guess the storyline heat must be fairly good. But yeah, giving Lance Archer a win. We've talked about it so much, how we've kind of underutilized Lance a little bit, and how Orange Cassidy's performances are pretty good. We haven't really given him the big push that he's been received in real life. So I feel like we're trying to make up for lost time a little bit here. Both guys having a good match here, and hopefully they might gain a little bit of popularity out of it. Post-match, Best Friends try and stop a Lance Archer beatdown, but ultimately they can't do it. So, Best Friends, 4 of them trying to take down Big Lance. Lance was able to get a few out of the ring, gain the upper hand, and in the end, Orange Cassidy couldn't be defended by his group. 60 rated. Yeah, it kind of makes Best Friends look a little bit weak. I understand that, but we're trying to really make Lance Archer look great. I'm willing to sacrifice the Best Friends a little bit to put Lance Archer over big time. Main event, Kenny Omega versus Matt Sydal, 78 rated. Well, this is more like it. Well, Kenny Omega says he's the best in the world. I think he's starting to prove it. Great match here with Matt Sydal. Matt 44, Kenny 88. We'll talk about a carry job. That is one of the biggest carries I think we've seen in the series. 78. Wow. So Kenny picks up the win, obviously. 16-minute match.
Now, we did have this as a steal the show, so we wanted both guys to really try and step it up and give everything they've got, and I think they did it. Matt Seidel was off his game. Kenny Omega, though, he was outstanding. So 78 rated. So we can get that sort of performance out of Kenny at the pay-per-view against CM Punk. Man, that could be the best match we've had in the series. It could be 90 plus. That is for sure. Post-match, Kenny Omega says there is nobody in AEW that is better than him. Again, talking about this, how he's the best in the world, advancing that storyline, teasing a potential debut from CM Punk again, 79. And it's true, nobody in AEW is better than him. Well, that's up for debate, but CM Punk technically not in AEW, so it kind of ties into the storyline again as well. So that big main event match gives us a 74 rated edition of Rampage. Very, very good. Alrighty, in the ratings, SmackDown 73 rated show, 7,000 people attended, and they got 2.9 million viewers. Funny thing is, we had a 74 rated show, 5,500 attendance, so not too far away from getting the same sort of crowd that SmackDown got, and obviously a better rating, show rating in the end. In total, we had 1 million viewers all up. Obviously, we got a lot more broadcasting here on Rampage compared to Dynamite. It's really this Sportsnet, which I believe is Canada. We get 200,000 viewers out of them, so it's really huge. 726,000 from TNT. But really, really solid, obviously. Very pleased with those sort of ratings. Carl Anderson's back. Obviously, he had that stinger injury. Took him out for a week or so. And really solid. Very happy with the ratings. To get over 1 million viewers is fantastic. Even if it's international audience, that's great. Rob Van Dam, he's retired. So he's 50 years of age, 60 popularity. He's hung up the boots. He's still working for Impact, apparently. So he might transition to a backstage role there. Speaking of our international audience, I was having a quick look at how we're doing internationally, and obviously here in USA, we're starting to see some growth. Now that scandal has moved on, we have seen more growth already. We've now gone up to 68 in every area and 70 now in the Southeast. So previously was 67 every area, 69 in the Southeast, and we just haven't been able to grow. We've been at 67 to 68 area for majority of the series. Now we're starting to move out of that range. We've got a bit more star power. More guys have popularity than ever before. We're able to have better shows without giving away our best top matches all the time. So things are starting to really click for us. A bit similar to real life, I suppose. Our shows are getting better, and we've got much more star power to kind of spread around both Rampage and both Dynamite. Obviously, having Rampage as well helps. You've got two, primetime shows for the week. That does help grow our company even quicker. So that's obviously a real plus for us. Internationally, now, obviously, our global reach isn't great. Canada, is starting to improve now that we've added Rampage, that 46 range. We started at 43 in some areas. If we look, 45. Some are starting to get to 46. Some are starting to finally improve. Mexico, no real improvement at all. The British Isles, again, not much improvement. Starting to see a little bit as of late. Japan has gained, 3 or 4 points over the series. Europe has gained not much at all, only just starting to improve in a couple of areas. The big one is obviously in Oceania. New Zealand, we had the best TV deal with New Zealand. We've got a medium-sized broadcaster showing Rampage, and I think Dynamite and Rampage as well. So both shows, 44 rated now is our popularity in New Zealand. So that's really good. If we ever start to do some global international shows, maybe New Zealand might be the first stop for us, which is crazy to think. But, maybe we can go to Auckland or something like that, have a show there. That could be pretty good. In India as well as the last region has gone from 12 to 20. I'd say that's probably as good as it's going to get in India. So there hasn't been a lot of great international growth, but we are starting to see some more domestic growth in the US, which is obviously huge. In comparison, if we look at the WWE, what they're currently sitting at, so they're at 78, 79, the high 70 areas for most of their shows. They have started to see a bit of growth themselves in the last couple of months. So we aren't incredibly far behind them, but to get to that point, would take a mammoth effort. That would be pretty hard to get there. We'd have to grow the company into the next phase, which won't be easy. And to get there, we need 77 popularity in 5 areas in the US. So that's quite a long way away. I don't think we'll ever achieve that in the series, but that's what we would need to accomplish to get to that next point. So it is a dream, but maybe we can do it one day. Nonetheless, we are 2 weeks away from All Out. Our storylines are starting to heat up, as we said. Paige and Cage is looking great. Cody and MJF, 87, that is huge. Jericho and Malachi Black, that's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to that one. It may even be, we might even shift it and have it, potentially Sammy Guevara and Malachi Black. That could be the match instead if we want to take Sammy out of the ladder match. We'll have to make that call. I don't know if I want to give away Jericho and Malachi Black this early. Maybe we do. Maybe we just get it done and make it happen. If we were to do it, I'm going to say Malachi Black will go over as well. Young Bucks and Wild Things, I think, needs a bit more improvement in the storyline heat. I think it could be a little bit better. But for the most part, all the other storylines in the main circle of things is doing really, really well. We don't truly know how well the Kenny Omega and CM Punk storyline is yet. But next week, we will be debuting CM Punk. That will give us a few episodes of Dynamite and Rampage to work with to build up towards All Out. Looking forward to it. Thank you for watching, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you enjoyed this edition of Total Extreme Wrestling. We'll be back with another one very soon.